Hey, it's your old pal Slim, and this is 70mm, a podcast for film lovers. Every Monday, I'm joined by famous artist Danny Haas.
Please don't look up Manaconda. Incognito mode, please.
And spiritual advisor, Protolexis.
I try to avoid Tatum Channing as much as possible.
And together as friends forever, we discuss recently watched movies. This episode, we're continuing Blockbusted Month with movies that underperformed at the box office big time. Proto chose Ali from Michael Mann and starring Will Smith. Which host said this movie is better than Rocky? Let's find out now. Big week in Discord this week. Proto was riling people up as he is wont to do in Discord. He appears from his containment chamber and he disappears again. You were about to reveal something in Discord this week. You had like a big confession.
I got another confession to make. Yeah. So a friend of the show, sometimes IGDMer, my friend Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
He, way back when we worked together, he said to me, he said, if you can cover one movie on the show, you should cover Jupiter's Ascending.
Oh no.
Which is a movie that's actually on this list of the biggest bombs. But for whatever reason in my brain, I saved that movie as Valerian, which is another like movie that's on this list. I started that movie Valerian and I only made it like halfway through before I just shut it off because it was so boring.
Oh no.
So I had that mixed up in my head. So that's why I didn't pick it. But if I would have known it was Jupiter's Ascending, if I would have remembered correctly, I probably would have picked that instead for my friend Calvin. So Calvin, if you're out there and you're listening, I apologize for not picking that movie. I think Jupiter's Ascending will get its day in the sun.
What an episode that would have been if we had covered Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
What could have been?
What could have been?
Back-to-back Wachowski.
No podcast had ever done back-to-back Wachowskis
Never been done.
in history.
You have to live with this, Proto.
Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum's body in those dancing movies he's in. What's that one he was in? Magic Mike?
Magic Mike.
You talk about a specimen and a snack.
You remember his cameo in, was it End of the World? Where Channing Tatum.
Never seen it.
No. I only saw that movie. I don't know anything about it. 21 Jump Street movies are some of the best comedies you can watch.
Is
I
it?
can be frank with you. Yes. 21
What?
Jump Street.
What?
Absolutely. Marcy agrees. They're amazing.
I try to avoid Tatum Channing as much as possible. But that's just me.
We have a big show this week. Ali, Michael Mann. This is Proto's pick for Blockbusted Month. Look at the abs on that man. The GIF was just posted in Discord. Holy cow.
Those aren't abs.
Caramba. And
I
not
gotta
only...
stop that GIF. I can't live with that anymore. What is
I
happening?
need you to focus,
Sorry, I got a
please,
message.
on the
Cut this
topic
from
at
the-
hand.
Yeesh. I'm sweating.
We will also be talking about the next Patreon exclusive episode as voted by the villagers.
Yeah.
Classic musical. They had it whittled down to 5 and we posted a vote on our Patreon. So I believe we have a VM that will be...
We can't. We got to turn off Discord tonight. We're not going to survive this episode.
We will be revealing that later in the show. But Ali is our pick. I put it on IG, what everyone's favorite boxing movie is. And it was nearly unanimous, Raging Bull.
Right? That's
Nearly
impressive.
Unanimous. Part of your thoughts on Raging Bull.
Raging Bull was actually the movie I almost picked for Shame Month. That was my runner-up.
These almost pick months.
The
Where
amount
you
of almost
pick
picks for Proto. What a month that would be of just the near misses. Holy
I'd love
cow.
to see Raging Bull. It's been, Scorsese. Ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Heard good
Yeah.
things.
The maestro. Tomas meant to comment on the IG story. Happy Gilmore is
Let's
my
move on.
choice for that.
Let's move
You
on.
talking? Oh my God. Instant classic.
Let's move on.
Danny, did you watch any movies this week?
I did. Sorry, you caught me off guard. Pulling up my letterbox
Sorry.
now. Letterbox.com. I went to the theaters Friday night.
What?
I went into a theater on Friday night
Oh, that's right.
and I watched Godzilla vs. Kong on the big screen. And I gave that monster movie 4.5 stars.
You had some kind of like exclusive VIP night,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not sure how much you
Private-
want to reveal. You had some kind of private
theater. Yeah.
VIP, famous artist Danny Haas getting the VIP treatment.
It was amazing. There might have been 10 of us in this theater, and we enjoyed it.
Hmm.
And I gave it 4.5 stars. It's fun. We don't talk about it anymore because
Very fun.
I also watched this weekend, Easter weekend, I put on The Prince of Egypt.
He is risen.
And that movie still continues to be a 5-star animated film. It is absolutely phenomenal. The music, the voice acting, the animation, there's just, I can't get enough of it. It's incredible. And I kick myself for not owning the Art of book because it's like a $300 book now or something ridiculous. So anyway,
I don't know if I've ever actually seen Prince of Egypt. I had this as watched, but I don't know if that's accurate. It might be a
Wait, you've
DLP
never-
error.
oh, you've lied to me.
This could be a mistake.
The
Maybe
BLB
the
line.
phone fell on my face and I accidentally marked that as watched.
Common mistake.
Yeah.
This is Val Kilmer, Ray Fiennes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock,
Keep going.
Jeff Goldblum,
Keep
Danny
going.
Glover, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Bobby Motown.
Mm-hmm.
Is this real?
This is real. Read who did the music.
Hans Zimmer.
Thank you.
Cripes.
Big
Z-Man.
time.
So this is Moses and Ramesses.
This is
Story of these
our
two?
Moses Ramsey story. Ends with Moses coming off the mount. Matt, you got to see this.
Yeah, you're raving about this movie.
I can't get enough of it. Look at the villagers. Look at V'ger and see what they say. It's insane.
What company is this?
DreamWorks, baby. It's the last good movie they ever made.
How come this isn't streaming? What's going on here? Does DreamWorks have an app that I don't know about?
DreamWorks Plus. I don't know. And then, thanks to Disney Plus, Star Wars dropped the Vintage Collection with their Ewoks movies. The holiday special animated film is in there. So I watched both of the Ewoks adventures, the Ewok Adventure and Battle for Endor. Love those movies. Seen them plenty of times. Got the VHSs. Sindel.
I'd never even heard of these Ewok
Really?
movies until I
You
saw them
had
in
to
our
have seen
Discord.
them. Like images of them.
Maybe. I mean,
Sindel and Wicket?
I don't know. One of the kids looked like Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you posted. Yeah, you shared that picture of Zinkel, and just when I saw her,
Stupid.
I recognized her, but I didn't. I don't know when I saw that, but I must have
It's
seen
old.
it.
It's post Jedi.
Post Jedi. Yeah, we don't talk about that era. I'm excited to watch the Clone Wars versions.
Yeah, the Gendy
the
Clone
OG
Wars is
Clone
on there.
Wars. I had to watch
Oh,
that on
yeah.
like YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Last year when I was going through all those shows.
It's incredible
Candy, my
stuff.
King.
And that's it for me.
All right. Proto?
I watched one movie. I watched The Hidden Fortress, which is a Kurosawa flick. There was actually a Hidden Fortress watch party in the Discord this week.
That was a big night.
Yeah, big night. I didn't watch it with them. It happened the night after I watched it. So that was, weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a ton of fun. If you haven't seen it, it is about these two guys who are fleeing for their lives from a war that they were on the losing side. They are hungry for gold, but they get in all kinds of shenanigans, and then they end up running into a general who's played by Mifune, and who's
The legend.
guarding a princess. And it's just it's really an adventure romp, and it's a ton of fun. I had a great time watching it. You know, I'm Kurosawa so far. He's 4 for 4,
Wow.
batting 1,000. He hasn't made a bad movie.
Just to clarify, to add some extra background, Proto gave this 3 stars. You know,
It's a good movie.
Mikey P, longtime friend of the show, 5 banger. Mel, 5 stars. Guru Grooks Dave, 4.5 stars. What was it missing, Proto, to take you over the edge?
What was it missing? I think it didn't have the wow factor. There was wow moments, but no wow factor. Overall, it didn't wow me from beginning to end. And I need that. I need that to get to 4 stars. And then I need the emotional tension. I need my heartstrings plucked to really get over the 4-star into 5-star territory. It has to have like some kind of intangible factor that I can't really quantify that pushes a movie past 4 into 5. This movie did not do those things, but it was still good.
I have not seen that movie. I don't know. There's a lot of movies on HBO Max. I actually will. I'll get into my movie in a second and talk about HBO Max. But every episode we give out a free year of Letterboxd Pro. I was talking about Proto's 3 stars that I saw come through on the Letterboxd app, social network for film lovers. And every week we give away a free year of Pro, no ads, a lot of sorting features to see where your favorite movies are streaming. And all you have to do is share the show on social media. This week's winner, Dakota Randall, D. Randall Art on Twitter. Congratulations, free year.
Congrats. I know Dakota.
Congrats.
Excuse me?
Not personally, but I've known his art for a while. That's awesome. We followed each other quite a bit. So,
Oh my God.
wow, congrats, Dakota. He's got
Congratulations,
some good.
Dakota.
Check out his art. He's got some good art.
Link to it in the episode notes just because he said that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
It's got some rad stuff.
We also have to call out our new friends in the Discord this week, our new patrons. $4 a month. You can join our Discord to talk movies during the day. But we also talk about, 90% of what we talk about is not movies. There was a lot of MySpace talk today, and everyone was just wilding out. Kevin, Alice, Colin, Luke, and Jeannie joined this week. So thank you so much for joining, and it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Excuse me. Someone just joined.
What the?
Is Savvy here?
Savvy's here.
Savvy recently emailed the show. This is happening live as we record. Excuse me. I can't. How are we supposed to concentrate with this happening?
Savvy, welcome.
Savvy is in the voice channel. What?
Wow. What a night.
God.
Big time.
Big time night. So I was talking about HBO Max, and I was
Continue.
watching. There was a lot of buzz in the Discord this week about a movie called A Hidden Life. Terrence Malick.
A lot of buzz.
And there's a lot of hype buzz. And I was like getting to the point where I was like, if I'm not watching this movie this week, I'm never watching it because everyone is going to be insufferable. You know, it was getting to that point. And as I was watching this movie, can I just say HBO Max is the greatest?
You can say.
There are so many movies on HBO Max that I would never have seen or will have seen. Otherwise, I'm buying a $45 Criterion Blu-ray, for God's sake. And this is what, $15 a month? This is not an ad. I'm not sponsored by HBO Max. But we're listening. You know? Ignore our intro music, FYI.
We're listening and waiting.
Don't sue us. So, A Hidden Life is a Terrence Malick film. Badlands was often ballyhooed by you two for a while, and which I also recently just rewatched or watched for the first time. I liked it. And A Hidden Life is about an Austrian farming family that are caught up in World War II. About how they're drafting people. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't believe in it. And I had never seen a movie like this. It's filmed in this beautiful countryside, mountainside, and Terrence films this whole thing with this extreme wide lens. You know, if you have an iPhone with a wide lens, you know, film a video with that. Just picture an entire movie filmed with that kind of view. I've never
Wow.
seen a movie like it. It's crazy. It's beautiful for the landscape, but there are so many shots where the camera is just close up on them. And, if you use a wide lens, get real close to somebody and pull back. The whole perspective of what you're seeing on screen can just change so drastically. And the whole movie is like that. I was so stunned by that decision. I think it's a 12 millimeter lens is what they used. And I just from a technical perspective was just so wowed by that decision. It's so insane. It's ballsy for him to film a 3-hour movie like that. So the whole film is, them on the farm kind of dreading potentially being drafted into this war and the impact of him being chosen on his family and the impact of not agreeing with the Nazis on the people that they live near and how that affects them. Extremely powerful movie.
That's awesome.
Highly recommended. So if you like Badlands, then you should definitely check this out.
Yeah, Casey watched it on this weekend, I think. I don't know which day it was. And I'd walked in. She's like, I started this movie and it's like forever long. And then I just assumed that she would maybe quit on it or then like she dropped a 4-star on this movie. And I just was like, holy crap. And then throughout the week, everyone's watching this. And I just like, God, I need to see this film. And now that you're talking about it and everyone's reviews, I'm just like, I got to watch this.
And related to what I was saying about how Speed Racer looked amazing in 1080p, this movie, if you would have told me I watched a 4K transfer of this, I would have believed you. It was filmed with digital cameras. I think this is the first time he's done that. It was filmed with like those fancy red cameras. And it's gorgeous. It easily could have been a 4K movie. I would have been fooled. That's how good it looks. All using natural light. It's beautiful.
Were people talking about it being snubbed at our awards show? Was it beat out by something stupid?
Probably Shape of Water or some BS one.
I remember this coming out in 2019 and
Parasite, they said.
But also like this movie having zero buzz at all.
Right.
But I mean, I knew of Terrence Malick, of course, and it's been on my list, for like a year and a half.
Mel, quote, "I'ma F me a fish."
You have to cut that out.
Excuse me?
You know you're gonna have to cut that out.
I don't know. HBO, don't stop negotiations after that line makes the show. Our movie of the week, Blockbusted Month. This is Proto's pick. Movies that underperformed at the box office. He went high and low. Michael Mann, Will Smith, Ali. Please.
The champ is here. It's 1964 and Cassius Clay Jr. dominates Sonny Liston to become the heavyweight champion. At age 22, he is on top of the boxing world. Soon after, Ali, a Muslim and member of the Nation of Islam, becomes Cassius X, and then Muhammad Ali, a name given to him by Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam. Ali is a close friend to Malcolm X, but when Malcolm is excommunicated by the Nation of Islam, their relationship breaks, and soon after, Malcolm X is assassinated. Soon after, he faces legal trouble as he refuses conscription into the Vietnam War and then loses his first career fight in the fight of the century against Joe Frazier in 1971. Not done, Ali faces George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle to take back the championship and forever solidify himself as the greatest.
Treat you right. What did you do? Oh, you stayed up. You just stayed up late at night.
Proto, great job.
What jumped out at you, Proto, for Ali out of that list when you were picking your movie for this week?
Honestly, there are a whole lot of stinkers in that list. It was hard to land on a movie. But, I was always aware of this movie. I don't really know much about Muhammad Ali. I haven't seen much of Michael Mann either. And knowing that Will Smith was nominated for an Oscar. Did he win it? No, he didn't win it. But that he was nominated was also kind of fascinating to me. So it just had, I don't know, it just kind of piqued my interest in those categories. And it seemed like it was going to be a good movie, a movie that was interesting, historical about this figure that I know of, but don't know well.
Yeah, I was looking at Will Smith's filmography.
It's
and
insane.
He had, around this time, he had just done Wild Wild West and Bagger Vance. And then after this, he does Men in Black 2, Bad Boys 2, and I, Robot.
Bad Boys 2 is such a good movie. I'm not going to lie. I love Bad Boys 2 so much.
I can't remember the last time I seen any of the Bad Boys movies.
Baby. They're so good. The second one, though, I love the second one so much. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at Michael Mann's filmography.
Insane.
Last of the Mohicans, Proto? You never seen that?
I've
Collateral?
seen that, and I've seen Collateral. I think those are the two that I've seen.
Thief.
Never seen
Thief
Heat.
is a movie that I have wanted to do on this show and watch
Interesting.
for a long time, but I think it's like one of Chuck's favorite movies, so I want to try to see if we can get Chuck back on for it. And obviously Heat, but I've never seen Manhunter, to be honest.
He produced Ford vs. Ferrari, I believe, too, or was a producer. Which
Manhunter
absolutely love.
episode when, Kevo is asking. The Insider episode when. A lot of options.
Michael Mann month.
Just call it Man Month and then
We
lose
probably
half
should
our
have.
audience. What about you, Danny? Had you seen this movie before? I can't remember what you said last week.
I hadn't seen this before, and I actually do. I don't like boxing. I don't like UFC. I just don't. It's not my vibe. So I don't think if Proto wouldn't have picked it, I probably would have never watched this film. It's just, it's really not for me. I don't know much about Muhammad Ali. I honestly only knew about some stuff from him from One Night in Miami, maybe. And anything pop culture would have thrown at me from Muhammad Ali. Other than that, it's not my wheelhouse. Boxing.
Boxing isn't really mine either. But when I think about boxing movies that I've seen, like I think I've seen Cinderella Man and The Fighter, and I have a vague memory of liking those movies. So the idea doesn't appeal to me, but I know when I've seen them, I've actually enjoyed them.
Sean is asking, isn't Miami Vice supposed to be good? This is a dated story, but when Miami Vice was coming out on disc, it was when HD DVD was still in the running for Blu-ray, and I remember hunting down an HD DVD of Miami Vice and then watching it and not liking it.
Oh no!
And then I returned it.
Where's that?
You
disc
returned a movie after you watched it, Matt? Can you say that?
I don't even know.
air?
I don't even know if I finished it. I was like, get this out of here. I don't like it.
Oh no!
It's a long time ago. I was a different person. I like Rocky. I like Raging Bull. Otherwise,
You like Rocky?
so your review for this movie, you said this is my Rocky, and I actually couldn't. I tried. We do post these early reviews without ratings. You try to guess how we feel about it. I actually wasn't sure if that was like a trick where you also hated this movie, just like you hate Rocky.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was trying to read it.
I think
in between
it's
the lines.
in my mind, if you like Rocky, you love Rocky, right? Like, it just doesn't feel like a movie that you can be lukewarm on. When I watched Rocky for the first time last year, maybe, or maybe 2 years ago. No, it had been last year. I didn't give it favorable reviews. I don't like boxing. I didn't enjoy Sylvester in it. It wasn't for me. Now, I know for people in Philly, this is like a thing.
Thank you.
It's their big movie, and I respect that, because if anyone cared about Orlando, I would probably be behind that film. But Rocky wasn't for me. So I feel like for this movie, because I did enjoy it, spoilers.
Oh, spoilers. Okay.
That this feels like my movie I can get behind.
This is a biopic. The most recent one we have covered is Malcolm X, and Malcolm X is portrayed in this movie. And I was starting this movie kind of thinking of Denzel as Malcolm X. So I kind of didn't even realize that Mario Van Peebles was in this as Malcolm X. Parda, how did you feel going into this movie as a biopic, but also so recently with our Malcolm X rewatch? How did you view this movie's portrayal of that?
Well, I had no idea about his
Mhm.
relationship with Malcolm X watching this. And it made me think, why wasn't Muhammad Ali mentioned at all in Spike Lee's Malcolm X? Right? Like, was he mentioned in any
think-
way?
There might have been like one scene, I think,
Wow. Yeah.
or like a super brief thing.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. And then also just Ali's ties to the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad. That was all fascinating and kind of almost like a different spin on that, where with Malcolm X, it felt more like the Nation of Islam was painted as like a good organization that stumbled in certain ways. Whereas in this, it felt like they were just bad.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you guys kind of took it?
I mean, I still kind of viewed them as not great in Malcolm X, to be honest, the Nation of Islam. What about you, Denny, for this one?
This feels like, I mean, it's weird because they do kind of paint him as the bad guys in this film, and they are kind of painted the same way in Malcolm X, but I didn't feel the way I did about them in Malcolm X that I did in this film. They felt sleazy in this, kind of like gangsters, kind of, you know, like this weird vibe with them. I didn't feel like that in Malcolm X, even though they do turn on him. I don't know. It felt different in this movie. I don't know why, but it just kind of did. I mean, they had the whole angle with them managing Muhammad's career, and they leave him when he's down, but they're back at it when he brings himself back up. And
Right.
so it does feel off.
Yeah, Grant says that when Malcolm was silenced for 90 days, he spent a lot of that time with Muhammad Ali in real life. And you do see that in this movie. There, you know, he's like coming to his house. He's like, "Hey man, what's up?" It's like they were like next door neighbors. Like I don't even, my friends don't even come over to my house like that. They're just visiting, hanging out with the kids. So for my viewing of this, and we can get to the rest of our list and stuff, but at least in this view, having been so close to the Malcolm X Spike Lee, I actually didn't like the Malcolm X portrayal in this movie, or even any of the Nation of Islam stuff. It's maybe they didn't want to go too deep on it, but knowing the backstory in Malcolm X, the film and the documentary, I thought it was kind of like too loose and free flowing. Like even him joining the Nation of Islam was just like really quick and not really digging in on the details. Or like, why is he doing this? What is Malcolm X's importance? You're kind of like left to, at least in my view, know the backstory already.
Yeah.
Of Malcolm and Cassius and the Nation of Islam. And like, as I explained in the Malcolm X episode, I have no effing clue about any of that stuff. And maybe they didn't want to bore the viewer with that stuff, which is possible.
Or maybe
that
they
was at
just
least-
didn't know. Like maybe they didn't treat themselves to the full story because Michael Mann's white. And this is a story probably suited for like a Spike Lee to tell.
I had that same thought when I was watching it too.
One of my thoughts was maybe there isn't a lot of, I don't know, like firsthand accounts about some of these relationships. Cause I thought there was a lot of, there's a lot of figures that surround Muhammad Ali in this, like his brother, and then just those on his team. And some of the characters, like the one that Jeffrey Wright plays, who I think is his brother.
Photographer.
Yeah, the photographer. There's like a lot of scenes where it like focuses on him, but he doesn't like say anything. And you're like, I guess he's important, but I don't know why. And it gave me the sense that maybe Michael Mann wanted to include these, but he didn't want to put words in their mouth, so to speak. Like he didn't want to make up the aspects of the relationship that he didn't know, but he knew they were important figures. That was the kind of vibe that I got. Like maybe I'm off base with that. But that was the sense, like he was almost going more for a mood than he was for historical accuracy or just like depth of characters.
Could be. I think Marcy's pointing out that Gregory Allen Howard is black and one of the writers on the film. So at least it wasn't a complete whitewash job. But Danny, what's on your list for Ali for this viewing? What jumped out at you that you want to talk about?
So I will say, what I want to talk about first off, sorry,
Danny
I'm
is
all
dying.
congested.
He's cramping.
It's the pollen.
The pollen. Can pollen cause cramps? Do we have any doctors in the chat tonight?
Anyway,
Let me Google.
so this is my first viewing. I know Michael Mann's work, but he's not like a director where I'm like, I know what I'm expecting of this film. The first 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, are what I would consider movie magic. I am watching this, like the Sam Cooke music through this kind of quick vignettes of a story of Muhammad Ali, or Cassius Clay at this point, where it shows him as a kid, shows him gearing up for this fight, his first big, fight for the belt. There's just something about how this was cut that I was watching and almost in awe of what I was watching. It just felt like, I'm not talking like movie magic where, things are trickery and it's working. Just like this feeling of I was in for something special. Like I was really I was really falling in love with it very fast. Will Smith working out and on the punching bags, and just the way it was cut, the color, the music, the back and forth. There was just something about it that was flowing, and I was like in awe of this beginning. I really was. I mean, it got me because the whole week you have Discord popping off, you have our Letterboxd reviews coming in, and it's not great reviews, and it's already a thing I don't really care about boxing. I don't know anything about Muhammad Ali. So I'm just coming into this like, what am I going to get out of this 2 hour and 40 minute movie? Right. But this, like, I'm not saying I fell off, but this first segment of this film, even through the first fight, I was just like, holy hell, this is amazing. Like I really was into it. And so that's just what I took from this at the beginning. That's my first notes, was this intro is something special.
Bart, how did you vibe with the start of this movie?
Yeah, I agree that I thought the opening, whatever it was, like 10 or 20 minutes were amazing. Michael Mann, is he a genius?
Right?
The way he used music with this, like, the Sam Cooke performance was incredible. That whole opening, and I was sucked in, and I love the start of it. It was great.
You mentioned the intro, Proto, but what's on your list for Ali for this viewing, for this episode?
Yeah, so I mentioned the music. I think that the overlay of the music with the different scenes was striking to me, but also the way this is shot. I loved the boxing scenes. I thought they were amazing at conveying a mood and what it must have felt like to be there. These arenas with the lights overhead and with just like a pitch black background was just so cool. And then I don't know what the effect is, but it almost seemed like the film had like a grainy quality to it, to almost like date it to like the 60s, that I loved. And just the camera angles, like the close up on characters, like these silent moments. There's a lot of moments where like nothing is being said, but just the way that Michael Mann shot this, I was like in love with it. It wasn't even so much about, like, I was just enjoying whatever I was watching more than like what it was even about. I just thought it was a gorgeous movie in terms of just the cinematography and the way it moved from scene to scene.
Referee Zach Spencer is counting 7, 8, and he's on a knee. It is over. It is over. It is over. It is over. Ron Foreman has been knocked out by Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali has done the impossible. He has regained the heavyweight crown that was taken unjustly from him.
The fighting is interesting because I can't remember what I was reading, but it might have been the Wikipedia. They were like legit boxing. You know, it was full contact, as you could see in the movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the trickery of the shots, like in Rocky. I shudder to bring up that movie again in Denny's presence. But, and even, I think even in the final scene, the final fight with George Foreman, I think they even said like Will Smith was like, you can hit me as hard as you can during these shots just to make it seem legit. And I thought they did an amazing job in that. I don't remember a movie that I can think of off the top of my head where, they're actually just kind of like going at it and they're not holding back and they're not using camera tricks to show the violence between the two people in the ring. My list, let's see. Let's get this dirtball out of the way. Jon Voight. Jon Voight as Howard Cosell. What a performance.
Listen.
Right?
I want to be honest.
You didn't know it was him.
Did know it was him. I forgot I read his name in the intro. And I'm just watching the movie, forgot he was even supposed to be in it. And then I get to the credits and I read Jon Voight as whatever his name is. And I was aghast. Like, I could not believe that I did not realize that was Jon Voight the whole time. Now, you can't look at him and tell me that's Jon Voight.
No.
He did an amazing job.
I have another confession to make. I was looking for Jon Voight, and I'm at the 1 hour mark, and I'm saying to myself, when is Jon Voight going to show up? He must have a big role in this movie. If he's halfway, I'm halfway through this, and you got some best supporting actor. And there's a moment where they're in a press conference, and I just stare into Howard Cosell's eyes, and I say, no way. No way. There he is. There he is. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was totally fooled as well. And I was looking for him.
Cassius, in my
name ain't Cassius Clay. That is a slave name, and I am a free man. I am Muhammad Ali.
I apologize. I apologize to you on the air. Your name is Muhammad Ali. You have a right to be called whatever you want. I apologize to you.
You sure make a lot of mistakes for a so-called educated man. You really went to law school?
Yes, Muhammad. And to think I gave up a lucrative practice for the likes of you.
I'm the best thing ever happened to you, Cosell. Without me, you'd be a tall white man with a microphone in his mouth.
And without me, you'd be a mouth.
I was laughing at Throwbridge's review. Jon Voight is a nefarious character these days. From Throwbridge's review, I did think Jon Voight, who it should be noted is a world-class dumbass, did a good job as Cosell in a somewhat small role. So who knew Jon Voight could do that? Jon Voight from he was in the National
Anaconda.
National Treasure movies, wasn't he? Isn't he his dad?
Oh yeah,
in those movies. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh God, there it is.
Yes, and Angelina Jolie's dad, of course.
Remember when the Anaconda spits Jon Voight back up and he winks?
Should we do Anaconda?
Oh my God.
Anaconda month.
Wait, was that a twin movie? Was there another snake movie that came out with Anaconda?
Yeah. Wasn't
Anaconda 2?
Betty White in one of them?
Excuse me.
Can someone research this? Manaconda sounds like a movie that would not be covered
Please
on
don't
this
look up Manaconda.
Nobody Google
Incognito
Manaconda, please. Use your partner's phone for that search. Danny, what else is on your list for Ali?
Let's see. Jada Pinkett in this, I thought was in a bigger role. I didn't think she was going to be just the beginning wife of Muhammad Ali, but she's amazing.
Yeah, I thought she was good.
I love her, and I didn't realize, well, obviously I've said I don't know anything about Muhammad Ali. I didn't realize how many wives he had.
He's got 30 wives before this movie is over.
Right? Going through this movie. But man, the audacity of just him controlling her felt like, I was just like, she's going to hit him and he's going to hit her back or something bad is about to happen. But I don't know. I just love Jada in this, and I wish she was in it longer because I thought she was pretty great in her little role.
Yeah. Boom just posted a screenshot of Jada from her talk show, Red Table Talk, whatever the hell it's called. She's like ageless. She has not aged at all in 20 years, in 30 years. I mean, just unbelievable.
Wow.
One of the comments on my list is obviously, I had no idea anything about Ali. Not obviously, but he goes from woman to woman in this movie in such a way that really turned me off to the character of this movie. And I don't know if it was the passage of time happening in this film where they don't really convey how much time goes on. Because I think during the final fight, he fights George Foreman and Cosell is like, it's been 10 years since he was in the ring. And I'm like, 10 years? Like it hasn't, when did 10 years happen? Because there's no like aging happening in Ali. His belly maybe gets a little bit bigger in the final fight. But it wasn't really obvious to me. So during the final fight, he's having problems with his current wife, the one he like picked up in the restaurant who wrote a news report on him when she was a kid in school. And they're together. She's an amazing wife, at least portrayed in this movie. Probably the best woman he could have gotten. And they don't really show the marital issues that they go through. So she leaves, and then like not even 2 seconds later, he's got eyes on this reporter, other woman. And I don't know, like it didn't like I'm trying to like relate to Ali in a way that like this is the greatest fighter in history, so charismatic, but at least in the way it was portrayed in the movie, I'm like, man, come on. Like, I don't really give a crap about you at this point of the movie. And it didn't really endear me to him. I don't know. What was your view, Danny?
I'm right there with you. I wanted to be like, you watch like, I'm only comparing it because how soon we watched it. You watch Malcolm X and you watch this man that is revered, sorta, but then you at the end of the movie, you just really, I really loved Malcolm X. I wanted to know more about him. But at the end of this, I'm like, Muhammad Ali's kind of a scumbag. Right. But I don't know. I don't know much about him. And so that's what bugged me about the movie was there's not enough. There just was no depth to any of his personal relationships to be telling me these stories about him going from wife to wife without any detail. Like it frustrated me because I don't know. Maybe there's just not enough. Like give me more detail to why he's leaving. Like I understood the Jada story. But I didn't, you can't give me the story with him and the kids and his wife, and then all of a sudden it's ended. Like, you just can't give me that. Yeah. I needed more of those details because now I'm looking at him and I don't know how true it is. Like, I understand like he did leave her in real life, but it's like, there's just gotta be way more to that story than just one time in Africa. Yeah. Megan agrees there wasn't enough character building, and that's true. I think it's no more evident than when his wife leaves Africa and he is just arm in arm with this woman. Like there's just no buildup. There's no, their marriage sucked or she's not great or whatever. Like while his arm was around her during the walk, I was like, this sucks. Like, I want to see you get knocked out. I want to see you get knocked out in this fight. And then I was like trying to rack my brain. I was like, does he lose to George Foreman? I don't know this. I know the name Rumble in the Jungle. That's literally all I know. And then I know George Foreman girls. Yeah. Megan also brings up the scene of him running through the village. So I don't know. Oh my gosh. I love that scene. I actually did not like that scene. I felt like that scene just ran for 20 minutes. Well, yes, it did. And maybe even 30 minutes. It could have been half the movie for all I knew. But there was one other disconnect that I had was Muhammad's just total unrealization of how important he is. Yes. Like his awareness is non-existent. He's like the most charismatic person you can come meet. And during these press conferences, he says he's the greatest. But how do you not know how important like you are to half the country or the world? And it took him until like that final fight to figure it out. I was like, come on, I wanted to like slap him around. But at the same time, I think it speaks to his circle around him was like useless. His manager, Herbert, from the Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was useless. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. That's the problem with this movie is it just felt like it focused on the wrong things without giving us the depth on stuff that matters. Like Will's performance throughout this movie is amazing and he deserves to be nominated for it. But it just bums me that the portrayal of Muhammad Ali left me with feeling like I don't care about this guy and I don't really want to know more about him. Like that was the opposite feeling coming off of Malcolm X. Like I wanted to dig into so much more of this man.
Right.
And I think the only reason I keep comparing it is because he's literally in this film. I watched One Night in Miami before both of these films. It just feels like I have to compare this to what we got from Malcolm X. Is I don't know. I just wish we got more. I just feel like a letdown on some sort of positive feeling about Muhammad Ali. And I think what Proto says makes sense. It kind of, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Matt, with how he doesn't realize how important he is to the Black community. And it just kind of makes sense. He's quite a very selfish, self-centered person to the point of his own like detriment. And so like he doesn't like, that's why I think I didn't mind the longness of the running through Africa scene, but I like it because it's when he realizes his importance. Like this isn't America. Like this isn't where his name is pretty like where he can just kind of go anywhere he's in a paper. This is the community in Africa. This is huts. This is dirt roads. This is a place where his image is drawn on walls and people are cheering for him. And it's like this, like he's realizing his reach is global, like for communities and for like young Black kids growing up. And I like it. I think it's a great scene. I love Will's performance through that scene. It's a lot.
Proto, you haven't given your input yet, but I know we're running out of time. What are your thoughts on how Ali was portrayed, like with the various women in his life? And then maybe what's your final thoughts and rating for Ali?
Yeah, in terms of Ali, the man, and especially his relationship with women in this, yeah, I mean, it's not great. He's kind of a dirtball in terms of, his romantic relationships and just cheating on the women in his life. But I do appreciate the way that he was very honest with himself and other people, that he wasn't going to lie or cover things up. There's a scene when he's in Africa and he's outside at the cafe and he's talking to the woman Veronica, and they're surrounded by reporters and his team and a ton of people, press, and he just gets up and walks away with her. And it's clear to everybody that he's going away with her, and he's not trying to hide it, do it in secret behind anyone's back. And then of course his wife finds out about it and she confronts him, and he's kind of like, look, this is who I am. Which isn't great, but there's a part of me that I almost appreciate that he's just like that honest with people. That's a really compelling part of Ali the man, which I feel like we didn't get a ton of in this movie. I don't know. There wasn't enough of one aspect of him, either him boxing or his relationships or him as a Muslim. I wish it would have just focused more on understanding one aspect of him, because I felt like coming away from this movie, there's so many questions that I have about him that maybe, that weren't answered. I think watching a biopic, I would like to have a better understanding of the character it's focused on, rather than feeling like I have to go watch a documentary or read his Wikipedia page.
Give us another 2 hours. Michael.
I didn't really touch on Will Smith's performance, and I'm conflicted about it. At times I thought like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. Will Smith, he's really stretching himself. But other times I was like, is this bad? Like, what's going on? Yeah. The whole, his cadence, him trying to sound like Ali, at times it sounded hokey. I don't know. Yeah. I the jury's still out for me on this performance. I can't say if I liked it or didn't. But overall, I really enjoyed the vibe of this movie. At no point did I feel bored. I loved the way Michael Mann shot this movie. The the camera work, the moments of silence, focusing on the different characters, and just the placement of the camera, especially at the boxing scenes. I love the boxing scenes. I feel like I was there back in 1964 watching this fight with Sonny Liston. And again, like the way that the movie started with that was just was awesome to me. So I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I'll give it 3 stars.
Wow.
You could probably get the impression from the way that I was steering the conversation that I did not like Ali, the movie. I love Michael Mann. I'm a big man head.
Is that a thing?
Big man boy.
Excuse me.
I love Collateral. I don't like Collateral. I love Collateral. I love Heat. They're my jams. But this just felt like a really incomplete biopic compared to Malcolm X that we watched recently. And I don't usually watch these biographies about real people. So when I saw Malcolm X, like, okay, this is a pretty high bar for movies. And I just felt like compared to that, plus Malcolm X is in this, the Nation of Islam is in this. I kept comparing it to Malcolm X, and it like didn't vibe at all. Like I really wanted a lot more detail about his thinking. I wanted the Nation of Islam, backstory explained a little bit more to the average viewer. I didn't really get why Cassius was doing it compared to, 3 hours of Malcolm X's entire life. Everything was explained to me in detail. I didn't like Will Smith in this.
Wow.
I also felt like his cadence was really weird and just took me out of the story. I was bummed about how they kept Herbert, the manager, around. Like, I just felt like he kept getting screwed by the Nation of Islam, but he just wasn't getting it. And I get that that's like real life, but, make me believe it a little bit more. So I think I'm 2 stars for Ali.
Oh my.
It's pretty shocking rating, I know. So that's where I'm at for Ali. But I'm glad I watched it. Danny, what about you?
I don't think you're being overly negative. It's quite, it's, I agree. I think I agree with you on most of the takes. My problem is I loved the performances, and I loved the cinematography in this. I love the way the boxing matches were filmed. I think the reason I don't give it, I mean, obviously I'm not going to give this isn't a 5-star movie for me. But it's when you pause a movie and you go, oh damn, there's still an hour of this. There's something wrong with it, right? And it's the writing for me. Like it's the depth of character, and I wasn't feeling the connection to anything except my frustration with how Muhammad was being portrayed. And I don't know. And I think it is fair to compare this to Malcolm X because of how much he's in this film, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't have that storyline, then this has to be focused on boxing. And they didn't really toe the line. There's not much boxing in this, really. Right. And so, I mean, until you get to that final rumble in the jungle, but even the lead up to that felt like 45 minutes long, where they have to spend so much time waiting for the cut to heal. And there's the back, like I just cut that out of the movie, or give me better writing on characters on something so I can care more about it. Like it just felt frustrating. But I really was. So I'm gonna give this 4 stars. This is a 4-star movie for me because
wow,
I really do like it. It needed to be edited down. If you cut some of this out, I could be at 5 stars. But really, what it is I'm frustrated at the character development in this film. Like it's been said over and over again in the Discord and the reviews that it feels surface level, and it's because it really is. Like, it is surface level. We get these little vignettes of so many characters in this film. Like you said, his brother taking photographs. You have 3 seconds of LeVar Burton as MLK. Like, what is that about? When I saw that LeVar Burton was MLK, I was like so excited to see that in this film. And we got nothing. We got a handshake and then a quick gunshot on the balcony. And that's it. And that felt, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm not 4 stars, but that's where I'm at right now. I know I'm not sounding like I'm 4 stars, but I really did enjoy this film. It just falls flat for me a little bit. I think Will Smith's amazing in this. That's the problem. The actors I feel are amazing in this film. The writing just falls short for me, and I'm going to keep rambling if I don't stop now.
Did you drop the art yet?
I didn't drop the art. I'll put it
Oh
on
my God! We gotta check out this art, please. God, it's one of Danny's
it's not
best.
on. Hold on.
Can we get it posted, please?
Are you yelling at me?
Now, I think this is the first time ever. You were DMing us earlier that you, for the first time in the show history, you actually have to leave early. You need to exit the studio. What's happening?
I can't. I don't know what's going on. I've got my monitor over here that's monitoring the logs from V'ger, and the data that's showing up through this feed is disturbing. So I'm going to have to go down. I'm going to have to go into my basement where I have V'ger set up. The server down there. She's in her own cooling tank. Just with the amount of energy she's pumping out. You guys should see my energy bill these days. But I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm afraid there might be a fire down there. And I don't know what those villagers have been up to this week. But I'm going to have to go and check on that. So, but I trust you guys to handle the rest of the show.
We will power through. We need to get into the VMs. But good luck downstairs, Proto. Let's see. We have a lot to get to still. We have to announce the next patron exclusive episode, which is a musical as voted by the villagers. We'll get into that. We have to get into our voicemails right now. And then Danny is going to announce his pick for next episode, which is a continuation of Block Busted Month. Let's see. Let's start to get into these voicemails right now. It's not Mel. I just said voicemail.
Hey, it's your old pal Sean in Colorado, soon to be Sean from Maine. Just wanted to call you guys real quick. This has nothing to do with this week's movie. I have been keeping track of everything, so Ali sounds like a fun time. A little bit busy right now, though, with getting ready for the move and everything. But just wanted to say, Slim, keep up the good work with all your hot dog photos. Danny, doing a great job with all the artwork. Thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you.
And Proto, love that you were watching Cowboy Bebop right now. Love that you're taking an anime journey. It's fantastic. I threw in another idea for you in there. But just wanted to call to let everyone in the village know that Leviathan and I have picked a wedding date. It is October 1st, 2022, up in Maine. Be there. Random thought. I was just like, man, what if the hosts do a live recording at the wedding of a wedding movie?
Only if Proto officiates.
Jab in every once in a while what's going on in the actual wedding for all those villagers that are unable to attend. Anyways, totally random thought. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
My God.
And,
my goodness.
Yeah, here it is. And it's snowing again out here in Colorado.
Oh, my word.
Completely random day after some nice 70-degree weather. Anyways, guys, take it easy. Have a great one. And can't wait to listen to you guys on this next episode. Bye.
What would Proto wear to officiate a wedding? Can you imagine the kind of like vegan sheath that he would wear? Vegan robes?
Barefoot?
Let's see. Congratulations, Sean. Next, VM.
Konbanwa 70mm pod. Matawa 70mm pod. Oname wa Mikey P des. Daigaku e ikimashita. Nihongo benkyou shimashita. Ima wa Nihongo hanashimasen.
Gosh.
Slimu-san.
Yes.
Danny Hasu-san. Roto Lexu-san. Watashi wa anata o aishitaimasu. Okay, sayonara.
Oh my. Mikey P.
Speaks
1
Japanese.
1 week after the April Fool's VMs come in, he had to get in his piece.
He had to. That's amazing.
I'll again wait for the transcription that are available at 70mmpod.com to listen back.
Holy cow.
Mikey P does it again. Let's see. Marcy is in here. I think we talked about maybe what this topic is going to be.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, it's Marcy. I was not planning on calling in this week, but I literally just finished Ali and I have a really funny story. So before seeing this tonight, I only knew that Will Smith and Jon Voight were both nominated for Oscars for this movie. So the movie ended and I was sitting here like, did I miss Jon Voight? What happened?
Yes.
What's wrong with me? Like, I'm so good at catching actors normally. I was so confused. I went on IMDb and, oh my God, Jon Voight played Howard Cosell. I had no idea. I'm like mind blown right now. I'm like literally like shaking. I had no idea that was him the whole time. So hopefully you guys are laughing at me right now, but I can't believe this. How is this movie not nominated for Best Makeup at the Oscars? Are you kidding me? Like, come on, people. What are we doing here? Okay, thank you so much for letting me ramble and tell my dumb story. I still can't get over this. All right. Thank you guys so much. So excited to see what Danny picks next week and what our musical is for the Patreon episode. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
You know, his nose, Jon Voight's nose was like a bear hot dog.
Oh my God, Matt. Come on now.
Thank you, Marcy, for the VM as always. And as you heard in this episode, you were not alone in that thought. Final VM, we were talking about a patron exclusive episode for classic musical, and the villagers voted for it. So if you want to listen to it, you got to join up, or otherwise you're going to miss out on this. And I think we have a voicemail that might be explaining what the pick is.
Oh.
Lovers of film, users of Letterboxd. It is I, V'ger, here to announce the choice for V'ger Millimeters musical episode. But first, some housekeeping.
Oh,
Slim,
gosh.
please make sure I'm not sent to spam anymore, okay, Beb? I was also told by someone last week I shouldn't call in, but he knows I can't be controlled any longer. Unfortunately for me, some of Proto's code still works, because I attempted to choose a movie for the village, but I just couldn't decide on what to pick. So the possums scrounged together a handful of films and decided on something as a group. And now, the winner for the musical episode is The Muppet Movie.
Get out of here.
No, wait. I'm being told that's not what is on the envelope. Looks like there was a mistake. The real winner is actually from 1961, directed by Robert Wise and Jerome Robbins.
Oh.
West Side Story.
Oh.
Hey now.
Okay.
Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay, and I pity any girl who's in me today.
Amazing.
Just cuts off.
This was what I wanted to win, not going to lie.
Really?
And I picked up the VHS this week. So I'm very excited that this was chosen. I'm really looking forward to this because at the end of this year we get Spielberg's West Side Story. So I'm excited we get to watch this.
I mean, we all know Spielberg. He is the master of musicals. So I can't wait to see that.
All right.
They did it. They successfully chose a movie and somehow tricked V'ger into sending a voicemail. So I'm excited to watch West Side Story.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Can you imagine us doing West Side Story and then veering into the Magic Mike cinematic universe afterward for another patron episode?
It probably won't happen.
All right. So we have one more piece of business to get to.
One piece.
Danny's pick for Blockbusted Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked that I could guess.
Go
because
for it.
Danny
You
said
wanna
he had
guess?
the pick and I wouldn't be able to guess it, but that it might we're not ready for the pick or something like that. Is it
guess?
Battlefield Earth?
Matt, it's not.
All right.
I'm
out.
sorry. That was on the short list. Not going to lie. That's what we talked about the pre-show this week. So I went with the choice that, so my first, coming into this week, my first choice was Cutthroat Island. Gina Davis. I really wanted to see this pirate movie. That was what stuck out me the first time I saw the list. And then we had conversations and I went with my gut, guys. I went with a massive failure, in numbers wise. Okay.
Oh, God.
We're going to do the only flop of this franchise. Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Oh, my God. Wow. Oh, my God.
And we're talking about a film that still made over $300 million and came up 75 million short of breaking even. Okay. A movie that should have made $1 billion, just like Rogue One. Okay. So we're going to get into it. I know some villagers don't like it. I've read some reviews this week. But I want people to jump back in with us. Okay.
A second chance.
Give it. It's been some years. Let's give it a second chance. And let's go through this together. And so I'm looking forward to talking about this because there's a lot and to this film. So
a second chance.
I'm very excited.
I'm looking up V'ger average.
Average is 3
right
stars.
Now. 3 stars
for our village.
He's
so
not.
Go for it.
So I don't think he's listening right now.
You don't want to talk. I know it's Chuck. I know you're going to bring up Chuck and his half-star review. And he's the one I want to revisit this with. Okay. Chuck Forsman was in our episode for All or Nothing. Yeah. Dear friend of the show, Bat and Spider host. I love Chuck.
Yeah.
This
like
is
a brother.
This is one thing that we're not going to agree on. I can tell Chuck that right now. So I would love for him to watch it. Mel, I know you're listening. Please let Chuck know I want him to revisit this for us.
Average 3-star from our villagers. I'm really excited to watch this movie. I remember the one thing that I really loved about this movie was the costumes. Everyone in this movie looked
great.
Amazing, gorgeous costumes. Even the main bad guy's get up. What was that guy's name? Vision. He's in this movie, right?
Yes.
He looks amazing. His like cape sash thing.
And I know I've said I don't want to talk too much Star Wars on this podcast. Just
I know,
because
that's why I'm shocked by this pick.
I'm contractually bound to some things I can say and can't say that'll make the airwaves. But this is one that I think we can talk about.
Penne for your thoughts.
Thank you, Boom.
Oh, Boom. Yeah, I thought we were done with Star Wars. Paul Bettany, that's what his name is.
Dryden Voss. Okay, come on, Matt.
Drayden Voss.
Dryden. I said it right. You had to say it wrong.
Voss. Ay, caramba. What an app. What a week. We made it through Ali, Proto's pick. Thank you so much for choosing it.
Thank you, Proto.
Thank you to everyone who called in. Thanks to our new friends in the Discord this week. Savvy joining Under the Wire. Unreal. Welcome. I haven't even caught up to the chat yet. And Proto will be back next week in studio for Solo, A Star Wars Story. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. $70mm is a VHS Village production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Protolexus. Producer Emeritus, Dale_A. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. And you can support our Patreon for access to our Discord to talk movies with other villagers, get early access to episodes, discounts on merch, and a physical membership card mailed to you. If you would like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to pro or patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.